Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day-to-day, whether you are listening to us live on the radio or podcast replay or in-studio video replay. Thank you very much. It's time for your garden questions, our garden answers. If you've got a question, send it on over via email is one option at gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or if you're the talky type, you can give us a call toll-free coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
And don't forget, you can let us know if you like my little fungi joke.
Yes, yeah. If you like Holly's jokes, let us know about that too. And they'll keep coming or we'll shut it down.
All right, so this question is sponsored by Fleet Farm and fleetfarm.com. I harvested my spring crops and planted my summer crops without adding anything extra to my garden bed. Should I have added a little something to the soil, maybe like some compost or fertilizer? Is it too late? Does it matter? What should I do?
Okay, revitalizing the soil after removing the summer or the spring crops. Based on the condition of your soil, you may be able to get away with it, but just a general rule of thumb, it's not going to hurt to top dress or add compost to your garden bed. However, if you've already planted your garden and it's already coming up, there's a couple of options in which you have. You can take compost and side dress or put around the plants in which you have already put in the ground. Just a small trough full, or make a little berm around the plants, and as it waters or as you water it rains, it will work that into the soil around the roots. You can also put soil or compost down the center rows next to the plants, and as it waters, it rains, however you want to do it, it'll work its way into the soil. You can also use an organic liquid or granular fertilizer and put that around the plants as well. If you're using a granular fertilizer, you want to use something not over powerful. Keep it under the 10-10-10 mark, and you can put it around the plants at the base, and or once you put it around the base of the plant, you can cover it with compost. Or you want to do a watering schedule, you can water it based on the recommended rates or the instructions on the back of the fertilizer packages. The safest route to go is just add compost around the plants or in the general area in which you have planted. If you've done like seedlings or whatever, or seeds, you kind of got to wait for that to come up, but you can put it between the rows and you will feed the soil. Then when you harvest your fall, your summer, for your fall, if you're able to plant, you want to top dress the beds with about a half to an inch of compost. So that is a good way of keeping it. Every time you pull something out, add an inch of compost back in that area to revitalize the soil.
All right, so our next question is from Denise. I was watching your video about tomatoes, and you said that you use the Florida weave method in a 10x3 bed. Were the tomatoes indeterminate or determinate? And if they were indeterminate, did you remove any of the suckers? So thank you for watching the video, and thank you for your question. The bed of tomatoes were both indeterminate and determinate. We personally do not cut off the suckers. We feel like the suckers grow on the plant. They're just part of the plant. They produce a limb. They produce more fruit. We're very much, live and let live in harmony with our nature.
We have, 40, 50, 60 tomatoes too.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some people, I know even if they don't really have a strong opinion about letting the suckers grow, but they do like to prune them because it's relaxing for them. That's perfectly fine as well. We just let them grow as is.
All right, yes, and keep that in mind that you can pack a lot more plants in a small area by doing a Florida weave, which is the plants are growing up and hanging on string rather than cages where there's a limitation because of the size of the cage. We are able to pack a few more plants in, let's say, a 10-foot row than we would if we had cages. And the plants are able to grow they're easier to harvest too because you're not fighting cages, you're just reaching in and harvesting the plant. So Florida weave, if you've already got your tomatoes planted, many of us have, and you haven't caged them yet, look up Florida weave. You can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and in the right-hand side search bar, type that in. We've got several videos instructing how to do such, and it works very well. We use agricultural twine that works, that does not rot. Some people choose to use more organic means of support. So there you go. All right. I've tried growing in compost only, but it seems to have the difficulty to allow water to permeate through. The compost got hard and nothing really grew well in it. Maybe it is the type of compost I used. It's the compost from the nursery that came in the bag. Thanks.
Well, what you could do is
compost. Not all compost is created equal.
No, you can buy compost from the nursery and it can be not the best.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of rocks, a lot of plastic, big chunks of stuff, improper ratio of materials mixed in with it. So
what you can do is you can mix in some potting soil with the compost, and then you could even perhaps use mulch on the top or mix in some natural materials, like if you have any leaves, dried grass clippings, I don't know, maybe even your own compost if you have any of that. Something to kind of break it up a little bit and allow it to mix with something so that the water can go through and it won't get that crustiness.
We've been able to grow successful many times in compost. We got our compost from a very reputable source when we did do it in that method in containers many years ago, and it would crust over on the top, but the plant had already emerged out of the soil. So that actually worked in our benefit because that crust created a level of natural mulch because it kept the moisture from evaporating out. So goods and bads there, but yes, mix a lot of things into it there, and you will be able to have compost that will retain the moisture, allow excess to run off, and your plants will be able to grow successfully. Keep in mind that, again, don't buy that compost again in the bag. Look for a better formulation. And oftentimes, as much and as difficult as it is, the better the compost, the higher the price. El Cheapo stuff is El Cheapo stuff for a reason.
Yeah, you definitely get what you pay for with compost. And if it was me, I would definitely reach out to the garden center and let them know what's going on too.
All right, what may help? I'm looking to see if you can help me. I have a 10 by 20 bed of sweet corn that was planted all at the same time and is about 2 to 3 foot tall now, and it's tasseling. I know that I haven't been the best at watering, but why is it tasseling at this point in the time frame? And can you help me? What should I do?
Well, early corn tasseling is when plants are stressed, so you're correct. It could have been the water, or maybe the corn was exposed to cold temperatures early in the growing season, something like that. There's a few different reasons.
Most times it's the lack of water. Yeah, most of the time the lack of water, because this happened in your sister's backyard. It was warm. We planted it. It got 2 to 3 foot tall, and it just all shot to tassel, meaning it was its stressed position, and it was trying to put any type of kernel on the ear in order to create seed for the next generation. So it is corn requires a tremendous amount of water, and regular watering, keeping that soil moist, will allow the plant, based on the variety, to grow to the designated height in which it's required to in order to put on the ear at the appropriate time. There are some 70-day, some 80-day, some 90-day, a little bit longer corn. So at this point, your corn is no good. Rip it out, throw it in the compost pile, and then replant because you got plenty of time.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.